Listen for just one night, and something within you begins to quietly reprogram itself. In subconscious reprogramming, you enter the state where the mind is most open, where deep patterns can shift without effort. Let it play as you sleep, and your life will never be the same when you awaken. Subconscious reprogramming. Introduction. The night breathes differently when you understand its secret language. Your subconscious mind, that vast, unexplored territory within you, is not sleeping, but listening. It is an ancient receiver, tuned to frequencies beyond ordinary perception. Imagine your consciousness as a radio tower, constantly transmitting and receiving energy. Every thought, every whispered intention becomes a signal traveling through the invisible networks of universal intelligence. The law of attraction is not an external force, but an intrinsic rhythm of your own being. When you surrender to the night's quietude, something extraordinary happens. The barriers between your conscious mind and deeper wisdom dissolve. Your subconscious becomes a fertile ground where new beliefs take root, where old limitations crumble like aged stone walls. In this sacred space between waking and dreaming, you are pure potential. No limitations exist here. No past stories can constrain you. You are simply consciousness, receiving and creating. Each breath becomes a transmission, each moment of stillness an invitation. Your body may rest, but your inner creator is luminously awake, weaving new realities with threads of pure intention. Listen, not with your ears, but with the silent awareness that resides beneath thought. Feel how each word penetrates beyond surface understanding, resonating in the depths of your cellular memory. You are learning a language older than words, the language of vibration, of pure energy, of unlimited possibility. Before we get into the book, comment, "I am ready," to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. Awakening the Inner Listener. Chapter 1. The Night Whispers Back. The universe speaks in whispers, and your inner landscape listens with remarkable precision. Every thought you nurture carries a vibrational signature, a secret language that your subconscious translates into lived experience. Consider Millie, a young woman whose dreams were portals to unexplored territories. Night after night, she traveled through landscapes she had never physically witnessed. Verdant valleys, misty mountain ranges, coastal towns with weathered lighthouses. These were not mere fantasies, but echoes of her deepest unspoken desires. One evening, as moonlight filtered through her window, Millie realized her dreams were more than random imagery. They were conversations between her conscious wishes and the infinite intelligence of the universe. Her thoughts, charged with emotion, were creating vibrational imprints that her subconscious was meticulously sculpting into form. The law of attraction does not respond to desperate pleading or scattered thinking. It responds to the frequency you consistently emit, the emotional tone of your inner world. What you believe with unwavering certainty, you begin to attract. Clyde's experience mirrored this universal principle, though his classroom was a modest garden patch behind his small cottage. He noticed how some seeds flourished while others withered, not from lack of physical water, but from the emotional energy he invested. When Clyde approached his garden with loving awareness, plants seemed to drink in his gentle attention. Seeds he forgot, or approached with anxiety, remained dormant. Those nurtured with calm belief burst forth with vibrant life. His garden became a living metaphor for manifestation. Growth follows emotional nourishment. Your subconscious operates like fertile soil. What you plant, through consistent thought and feeling, will inevitably take root. Anxiety creates barren ground. Relaxed belief creates abundance. To live a consciously designed life, you must learn to water your visions with tranquil expectation rather than desperate grasping. Trust that the universe responds to your inner state, not your external demands. Practice. Let your final thoughts before sleep be gratitude for one tiny miracle already present. Whisper it until you feel calm, as though the universe were sighing in agreement. Chapter 2. Dreams as Mirrors. Chapter 1. The Night Whispers Back. Continued. You stand at the threshold of understanding, where the veil between your waking consciousness and the vast landscape of your inner realm becomes translucent. Dreams are not mere phantoms dancing in the night, but intricate messages woven by the deepest part of your being, a sacred language that speaks when your conscious mind grows still. Pearl's journey illuminates a universal truth. Your nocturnal experiences are not random tales, but carefully crafted transmissions from your subconscious. Each dream is a holographic projection, reflecting the vibrations you cultivate during your waking hours. When worry dominates your daylight thoughts, your dreams become tapestries of anxiety, rehearsing scenarios that reinforce your deepest fears. But what if you could transform this nightly ritual? What if your dreams became a sanctuary of healing, a realm where your most profound intentions take shape? Calvin's transformation offers a glimpse into this possibility. Where once he saw dreams as disconnected fragments, he now recognizes them as deliberate communications from his inner wisdom. Each symbol, each seemingly nonsensical scene, carries a message, a gentle nudge guiding you toward wholeness. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between reality and imagination. It responds to the emotional frequency you emit, creating dream scenarios that are essentially manifestation rehearsals. When you approach your dreams with curiosity and reverence, you begin to decode the subtle language of your inner self. The universe communicates through metaphor and symbol. Your dreams are its whispered conversation, inviting you to listen beyond the literal and tune into the vibrational wisdom that pulses beneath surface awareness. Practice. As your eyes close tonight. As your eyes close tonight, softly affirm that your dreams reflect your joy, not your fears, and give thanks to the part of you that always listens. Breathe deeply. Let your breath become a bridge between your conscious and subconscious realms. Whisper to yourself, "My dreams are messages of healing. They guide me toward my highest good." Allow each breath to release the day's tensions. Feel gratitude flooding your being, gratitude for the wisdom that watches over you, the intelligence that works tirelessly to align you with your truest self. Chapter 3. The Heart That Thinks. Chapter 3. The Heart's Electromagnetic Symphony. You carry within you a power more potent than you realize. Your heart is not merely a vessel of emotion, but a transmitter of profound electromagnetic signals that reshape the very fabric of your reality. When Lottie first understood this, her perception of heartbreak transformed from a wound of weakness to a gateway of transformation. Lottie discovered that every emotional state radiates a unique frequency, with the heart emitting an electromagnetic field thousands of times stronger than the brain's signals. These waves do not simply dissipate into the universe. They communicate directly with your subconscious, instructing it on what to manifest. Consider Felix, a man whose life was once tangled in the thorns of resentment. When he chose compassion over bitterness, something remarkable occurred. His external world began to realign, mirroring the internal shift of his heart. Where anger once resided, understanding took root. Where judgment had grown, empathy blossomed. This is the master frequency of love, a tuning fork that clears the static of conflicting thoughts. It is not a passive state, but an active force of creation. When you truly feel good about others, you collapse the emotional barriers that obstruct your path. Your subconscious becomes a luminous receiver, attuned to serenity and possibility. Your heart knows languages beyond words. It speaks in vibrations, in silent understanding, in the quiet moments between breaths. Each genuine feeling of compassion sends ripples through the universal field, instructing your inner landscape to reorganize itself. The universe does not distinguish between what you consider real and imagined. It responds to the frequency of your emotional transmission. Your feelings are not weak. They are powerful instructions, blueprints for reality waiting to be constructed. Practice before sleep. Before you surrender to the night, rest your hand on your chest and remember one person who evokes gratitude. Let that warmth envelop your night, allowing the electromagnetic waves of appreciation to radiate from your heart, painting your subconscious with threads of pure, unconditional love. Chapter 4. The Voice Beneath Words. The language of vibration. How your inner sound creates reality. You have been speaking to the universe without truly understanding its native tongue. Words alone are but whispers. It is the tone, the emotion, the living frequency behind those words that truly communicates with the vast intelligence of your subconscious. Sadie discovered this truth when her carefully crafted affirmations felt like empty echoes bouncing against invisible walls. She would stand before her mirror, reciting prosperity mantras with mechanical precision. Yet nothing shifted. Her words remained flat, devoid of the resonant energy required to penetrate the deeper layers of her being. The subconscious does not comprehend language as your waking mind does. It perceives vibration, feels intention, and responds to authentic emotional resonance. Your inner world listens not to what you say, but how you say it, the musical current beneath your words. Consider George, the neighborhood shopkeeper whose life transformed through an unexpected revelation. Each morning, while arranging his small store's shelves, he began humming his intentions, not just speaking them, but singing them, allowing his heart's genuine warmth to color each note. His affirmations became melodic prayers, infused with joy and belief. Where once his business struggled, now customers seemed drawn by an invisible magnetism. Opportunities appeared as if summoned by his harmonic intentions. George understood something profound. Singing bypasses the analytical mind's resistance. When you sing your truth, you communicate directly with the subconscious, which recognizes sincerity beyond intellectual constructs. Your voice carries electromagnetic waves that interact with the quantum field. Each tone is a frequency, each emotion a signal transmitted beyond visible perception. The universe does not distinguish between thought and sound. It responds to the vibrational signature you emit. Sincerity trumps syntax. Feeling supersedes vocabulary. Your subconscious craves authentic expression, not rehearsed scripts. When your heart and voice align, manifestation becomes not a distant possibility, but an immediate reality. Tonight, as darkness embraces you and consciousness begins to soften, you will engage in a sacred practice of vibrational alignment. Tonight, hum softly the word love as you drift off, letting the tone cradle your thoughts like a lullaby to your subconscious. Chapter 5. Surrender is the real power. In the quiet theater of existence, you are not a performer straining to control every scene, but a graceful dancer moving in harmony with the universe's rhythm. Nora's journey reveals a truth that echoes through the chambers of human experience. True manifestation blooms not from forceful manipulation, but from the art of letting go. For years, Nora had been the architect of her own exhaustion, meticulously crafting each moment with surgical precision. Her days were a tapestry of carefully calculated moves, each decision measured and controlled, believing that only through relentless effort could she shape her destiny. But the universe whispers a different wisdom, that control is an illusion, and surrender is the secret key to unlocking life's most profound manifestations. When fatigue finally cracked her defenses, Nora discovered something remarkable. In the moments when she could no longer maintain her tight grip, something magical began to unfold. Her dreams started aligning, opportunities appeared without struggle, and life's currents began to carry her with unexpected grace. Arthur's story mirrors this sacred principle. A man who once believed solving every problem simultaneously was the path to success. He found true transformation when he learned to rest. His naps became portals of possibility, each moment of relaxation a silent invitation to the universe to orchestrate his desires. The subconscious does not respond to tension, but to trust. It listens not to your frantic thoughts, but to the quiet frequency of belief. When you release your grip, you send a powerful signal to the unseen realms, a message of faith that says, "I trust in the greater intelligence that governs my life." Surrender is not weakness, but the highest form of strength. It is acknowledging that the universe is infinitely more intelligent than your limited perspective. Your role is not to control, but to align, not to force, but to flow. Imagine your intentions as seeds. When you plant them with gentle conviction and then step back, you allow the natural intelligence of creation to nurture them. Strain is the drought that prevents growth. Relaxation is the water that makes miracles bloom. As the night approaches and your body prepares for rest, you stand at the threshold of transformation. The day's struggles begin to dissolve, and a new understanding emerges. Manifestation is not a battle to be won, but a dance to be enjoyed. Practice. As you prepare for sleep, breathe deeply and mentally say, "I allow everything good to find me effortlessly." Chapter 6. Frequency of Faith. In the quiet moments between breath and stillness, you discover the most profound truth of manifestation. Just as Daisy watched the candle flames dance with her breath, your inner state becomes the conductor of external reality. The flame represents your consciousness, delicate, responsive, yet capable of illuminating entire landscapes of possibility. Imagine your emotions as a gentle breeze, capable of making flames flicker or stand resolute. When doubt trembles through you, the flame wavers. When unwavering faith fills your being, the flame becomes a steady beacon of potential. This is the language of vibration that the universe understands intimately. Amos understood this secret long before his circumstances reflected his inner wealth. With an empty wallet, he chose to feel abundance. He didn't wait for money to validate his sense of prosperity. Instead, he allowed prosperity to pulse through his entire being. His inner wealth wasn't dependent on external validation, but emerged from a deep, unshakable knowing. Your subconscious does not distinguish between what is and what you believe could be. It responds to the emotional frequency you consistently broadcast. When you feel wealthy, generous, and fulfilled, even momentarily, you send signals that begin rearranging your external world. The universe is not a distant mechanism, but a responsive field of energy waiting to align with your most genuine feelings. The power of belief transcends logical understanding. It is not about positive thinking, but about emotional alignment. Your feelings are the language through which your deepest intentions communicate. When you truly feel something, not just think it, but feel it in every cell, you activate a transformative frequency. Certainty is not about guarantees. It's about trust. Trust that your inner state has the power to reshape external conditions. Trust that your emotions are not merely reactions, but creative forces. Trust that abundance is not something you acquire, but something you embody. Amos's journey teaches that opportunities are always present. They simply become visible when your inner frequency matches their vibration. Wealth, love, success, these are not destinations, but states of being you can choose in any moment. Your practice is simple, yet profound. Breathe calmly, repeating, "I believe because I feel it, not because I see it," until your entire body mirrors ease. Chapter 7. The Sleep of Creation. Your subconscious is a vast, luminous workshop where reality's blueprints are constantly being redesigned, and sleep is the sacred hour when transformation whispers its most potent secrets. Addie understood this wisdom intimately, noticing how her most vivid dreams always preceded remarkable shifts in her external world. When Addie slept, her mind became a canvas where limitations dissolved and potential painted itself in brilliant, unrestrained strokes. Her dreams were not mere fantasies, but intricate rehearsals of possibility, where her deepest intentions wove themselves into the fabric of potential futures. Henry, a quiet engineer with an intuitive understanding of subtle energies, discovered a similar phenomenon. He observed that by creating a peaceful soundscape before sleeping, soft instrumental music, gentle nature sounds, or calm breathing meditations, he could invite breakthrough solutions into his consciousness. The universal truth revealed here is that sleep is not a passive state of unconsciousness, but an active realm of co-creation. During these hours, your conscious mind's rigid narratives soften, allowing your subconscious to rearrange internal patterns with remarkable fluidity. What seems impossible in daylight becomes malleable in the night's gentle embrace. Your sleeping mind does not judge or resist. It simply listens and creates. It receives your emotional imprints, your hopes, your unspoken desires, your quiet truths, and begins weaving them into potential realities. Each breath you take while sleeping is a thread in the tapestry of your becoming. The practice of listening during sleep is not mere absorption, but a profound act of conscious creation. Your subconscious does not distinguish between what is and what could be. It simply responds to the emotional frequency you transmit. As you drift off, imagine golden light entering your mind, carrying your sacred wish gently into the night. Chapter 8. Whispers of Self-Worth. In the quiet chambers of your inner world, words are not merely sounds, but seeds planted in the fertile ground of consciousness. You have been speaking to yourself long before you understood the power of language, unaware that each whispered thought constructs the landscape of your reality. Clara's story illuminates a universal truth. Your subconscious does not distinguish between kind words spoken to others and harsh judgments directed inward. Every criticism you murmur becomes a blueprint. Every self-deprecating comment a potential instruction for your deepest self. Imagine your inner dialogue as a constant gardener, tending the soil of your potential. When you say, "I am not good enough," you are planting weeds of doubt. When you declare, "I am struggling," you are watering those seeds of limitation. Your subconscious listens without judgment, accepting each statement as a command to be fulfilled. Otis understood this principle intuitively. Where others saw barriers, he spoke as though success was already his companion. He did not wait for external validation to feel worthy. Instead, he chose to embody the identity of someone already successful. His words became a bridge between his current reality and his desired experience. The universe responds not to your wants, but to your state of being. Your self-image is the lens through which all experiences are filtered. When you truly believe in your inherent worth, the world begins to reflect that belief back to you. Worthiness is not a destination to be reached, but a truth to be remembered. Your subconscious is a powerful ally, always listening, always creating. It does not argue with your statements. It simply begins constructing the reality you consistently describe. Each thought is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life, each emotion a color that gives depth and texture to your experience. The transformation begins with recognition. Acknowledge that your inner dialogue is not a passive background noise, but an active creator of your lived experience. Your words are spells, your thoughts are instructions, and your beliefs are the architects of your reality. Tonight, as darkness embraces you and the world grows quiet, you have a sacred opportunity to reprogram your inner narrative. Whisper your name followed by, "I am enough," until sleep gracefully seals the statement, allowing this truth to sink deep into your subconscious, reshaping your inner landscape with gentle, powerful affirmation. Chapter 9. Magnet of Gratitude. In the quiet moments before sleep, your world transforms when you learn to whisper gratitude. You are about to discover a secret more powerful than any wishful thinking, the alchemical magic of acknowledging what already exists. Flora understood this mystery instinctively. Each night, she would take her worn leather journal and inscribe the smallest of miracles: the warmth of afternoon sunlight on her kitchen table, the unexpected smile from a stranger, the soft purr of her aging cat. These were not grand gestures, but delicate threads of appreciation that, when woven together, created a tapestry of abundance. Your subconscious does not distinguish between large and small blessings. It only recognizes the emotional frequency of thankfulness. When you focus on what is good, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive more goodness. Flora's nightly ritual was not about manufacturing happiness, but recognizing the wealth already surrounding her. Leon's journey followed a different path. After losing his job, he approached gratitude with skepticism, a desperate last resort rather than a genuine practice. His first entries were mechanical. I am grateful I have food. I am grateful I have shelter. But something shifted when his gratitude became sincere. He began noticing subtle opportunities. A conversation with an old colleague led to a freelance contract. A chance encounter at a coffee shop introduced him to a network of potential clients. His gratitude journal was not a magical wish list, but a lens that revealed pathways previously invisible. The universal law at work here transcends mere positive thinking. Gratitude is a vibrational invitation. It tells your subconscious that you are abundant, that life is generous, that opportunities are not scarce but plentiful. Each thankful whisper reprograms your internal narrative from lack to plenty. Your neural pathways are constantly being reshaped by your dominant thoughts. When gratitude becomes your default language, you begin to see the world differently, not as a place of struggle, but as a realm of continuous blessing. The practice is simple yet profound. As darkness embraces you and sleep approaches, begin naming the blessings around you. Feel the warmth of your blanket. Appreciate the soft breath moving through your lungs. Recognize the silent support of the walls protecting you, the quiet hum of electricity, the comfort of your pillow. Let each blessing expand within you, growing like a gentle light. Allow gratitude to become your lullaby, singing you into a state of peaceful receptivity. Drift into rest by naming silently the blessings in your room, feeling them expand with warmth. Chapter 10. The Mirror Called Reality. In the quiet chambers of your heart, where memories echo like forgotten whispers, you carry stories that shape your world without your conscious knowing. Ruby's journey reveals a truth more powerful than mere coincidence. Your deepest beliefs about love create invisible blueprints that life faithfully reproduces. Her pattern of heartbreak was not a curse, but a mirror, reflecting the unspoken narratives she carried within. Each relationship arrived like a messenger, delivering precisely what her inner landscape expected. The universe, ever obedient, painted her external reality with the brushstrokes of her internal beliefs. When Ruby first recognized this sacred mechanism, she understood that love was not something happening to her, but something emanating through her. Her subconscious had been silently programming her experiences, attracting partners who confirmed her unresolved wounds and hidden fears. The transformation began not with searching for the right person, but with healing her relationship with herself. She learned to speak to herself with the tenderness she had always sought externally. Each kind thought became a gentle recalibration of her internal frequency. Earl's story mirrored this wisdom. Where once he anticipated betrayal and disappointment, he began cultivating an expectation of kindness. His internal shift was subtle yet profound, a quiet reprogramming of his emotional landscape. Strangers began responding differently. Doors opened unexpectedly. Conversations turned warm. Opportunities emerged where barriers once stood. Not through manipulation, but through the pure resonance of his transformed inner state. The subconscious does not argue. It does not debate. It simply receives and reflects. Like a perfect projection system, it displays exactly what you feed into its machinery. Your beliefs are the film, your emotions the light, and your experiences the screen where everything is revealed. To change your external world, you must first tenderly reconstruct your internal narratives. Not through force, but through compassionate awareness. Each thought is a seed, each emotion, the water that nourishes it. As night approaches and consciousness softens, you have a sacred opportunity to plant new seeds of belief, to whisper to your subconscious the truth of your inherent worth, your capacity for love, your birthright of harmony. Tonight, say quietly, "Everything I see loves me back because I am the vibration of love." Part 2, The Art of Radiant Believing. Chapter 11, The Thought Garden. You stand at the threshold of creation, where thoughts are seeds and patience is the soil that nurtures transformation. Edna understood this sacred principle long before her garden flourished. She learned that manifestation is not a sudden explosion, but a gentle unfolding. Her affirmations were not mere words spoken into emptiness, but living energies carefully tended. Like a gardener who knows the delicate balance between nurturing and forcing, she discovered that impatience is the greatest destroyer of dreams. Each thought she planted required time to take root, to stretch tender roots beneath the surface of awareness. The universe operates on a rhythm far gentler than human urgency. Your desires are not fulfilled through forceful demand, but through consistent, loving attention. Just as a seed does not burst into fruit overnight, your dreams require a steady, unwavering belief. Walter's vineyard became a metaphor for this profound truth. Where others saw poor soil and challenging terrain, he saw potential. His whispers to the vines were not commands, but conversations of belief. Success was not something to be acquired, but a state of being to be cultivated. Each morning, Walter would walk among his vines, speaking words of encouragement. "You are strong," he would murmur. "You will thrive." His consistency was a form of spiritual irrigation, feeding the plants with the moisture of conviction. Where logic suggested failure, his persistent belief created miracles. Your subconscious listens not to the volume of your declarations, but to their frequency and sincerity. Repetition is the chisel that sculpts belief into reality. Like water slowly carving stone, your habitual thoughts gradually reshape your experience. Manifestation is not a sudden event, but a continuous dialogue between your inner world and the universal energies that surround you. Each thought is a signal, each emotion a frequency. Persistence is the amplifier that turns whispers into symphonies of creation. The secret lies not in grand gestures, but in quiet, consistent alignment. Your thoughts are seeds, your emotions the water, your belief the sunlight. Patience becomes your greatest ally in this sacred process of transformation. As night approaches and consciousness softens, you have a profound opportunity to plant your desires in the fertile soil of your subconscious. Drift into sleep, picturing fertile soil accepting your thoughts, promising harvest soon. Chapter 12, Emotional Currency. You stand at the threshold of understanding a profound universal truth. Your emotions are not mere fleeting experiences, but powerful transactions that purchase your reality. Like a merchant in the marketplace of existence, you are constantly exchanging energy, spending and receiving based on the currency of your inner landscape. Imagine your feelings as living currencies, each emotion carrying a specific vibrational value. When you complain, you're spending coins of scarcity. When you express gratitude, you're investing in abundance's golden treasury. Your subconscious is the ever-vigilant accountant, meticulously tracking every emotional transaction. Gene's journey illuminates this principle with striking clarity. He discovered that chronic complaints were like slow leaks, draining his energetic wealth. Each grumble about difficulties subtracted potential from his life's account. But when he learned to transmute frustration into curiosity, something remarkable happened. His inner bank began to fill with unexpected opportunities. Curiosity, you'll discover, is a regenerative emotion. It doesn't deplete, it expands. Where complaint constricts, curiosity opens. Where frustration builds walls, curiosity builds bridges. Your subconscious responds to this shift immediately, recalibrating your internal worth meter. This is not mere metaphor, but a fundamental law of energetic exchange. Your emotional state broadcasts a frequency that the universe receives and reflects back to you with remarkable precision. Each feeling is a signal, each thought a transmission, each emotion a magnetic force drawing experiences that match its vibration. Consider how a single moment of genuine joy can transform your entire perception. In that instant, you're not just feeling, you're transacting. You're purchasing potential, investing in possibility, and signaling to the deeper realms of consciousness that you are ready to receive. The art of emotional alchemy lies in conscious choice. You can choose to spend your inner currency wisely, investing in emotions that expand rather than contract. Curiosity, wonder, hope, and gratitude are high-value currencies that compound interest in your life's experience. Your subconscious does not judge, it simply reflects. It is a perfect mirror, instantaneously encoding your emotional transactions into your lived reality. When you elevate your emotional frequency, you're essentially reprogramming your inner worth coding, and reality must respond in kind. Practice. Smile before sleep, letting warmth fill you as if you cashed a generous check from the universe. Chapter 13. The Color of Thought. In the soft landscape of consciousness, your thoughts are not mere whispers but vivid brushstrokes painting the canvas of reality. You are an artist of inner vision, wielding imagination as your most potent instrument of transformation. Hattie understood this secret long before she could articulate it. Where others saw challenges, she saw opportunities draped in golden light. Her mind was a sanctuary where problems transformed the moment they entered, transmuted by her luminous perception. When Boyd first learned to color his struggles with tranquil blue hues, he discovered something extraordinary. Visualization is not mere daydreaming, but a precise communication with the subconscious. Each mental image carries an emotional frequency that speaks a language more direct than words. Imagine your thoughts as living colors, each hue carrying its own vibration. Worry becomes a murky gray, but when you bathe it in soft lavender, it begins to dissolve. Anxiety might appear as jagged red edges, yet when you stroke it with peaceful blue, those sharp lines soften and blur. Your subconscious does not understand logical arguments. It comprehends emotion, color, and feeling. When you visualize with sincerity, you are sending a telegram directly to the deeper regions of your mind, instructing it to rearrange reality. The universe listens to your internal palette. Your emotional colors are not just passive experiences, but active creators. Each time you choose a brighter hue, you are redesigning your internal landscape, and external circumstances must eventually align. Practice dissolves resistance. Imagination transcends limitation. By learning to paint your inner world with intentional, soothing colors, you become the architect of your experience. Before slumber, tint your worries with lavender calm, watching them fade into luminous silence. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Sound of Alignment. In the symphony of existence, you are both the musician and the instrument, continuously tuning your inner vibrations to create the melody of your life. Sound is not merely a collection of notes, but a powerful conduit that can reshape your internal landscape, transforming the very frequency of your being. Betty understood this truth intuitively. Her simple humming was not just a casual habit, but a deliberate practice of alignment. Each morning, as she moved through her daily tasks, she would emit soft, melodic tones, sometimes wordless, sometimes carrying gentle intentions. These sounds were not performances for others, but conversations with her deeper self. When Betty hummed, something remarkable occurred. The vibrations seemed to smooth out the jagged edges of her thoughts, creating a harmonious internal environment. Her subconscious, like a responsive instrument, began to resonate with these intentional frequencies. Stress would dissolve, clarity would emerge, and opportunities would begin to align themselves around her newfound inner peace. Ralph's journey mirrored this principle, though his path was through musical instruments. As a struggling musician, he discovered that his external success was a direct reflection of his internal tuning. When he began to play his instrument not just with technical precision but with a profound sense of love and connection, something shifted. His music became more than sound. It became a transmission of his innermost feelings. The love he channeled through his instrument began to attract experiences that matched its vibration. Suddenly, opportunities appeared, collaborations, invitations, recognition. His career was not just progressing, it was blossoming with an almost magical synchronicity. The universe, you see, responds to frequency. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are sound waves that ripple beyond what your ears can perceive. They communicate constantly with the quantum field, drawing experiences that match their resonance. Your subconscious is a sophisticated receiver, always listening. It does not distinguish between what you verbalize and what you feel. It responds to the underlying tone, the emotional signature of your being. When you align your inner frequency with what you desire, you create a powerful magnetic field of attraction. This is not mysticism, but a profound understanding of vibrational harmony. Just as a tuning fork can cause another nearby to vibrate in sympathy, your internal state influences the world around you. Your conscious choice of emotional tone becomes the instrument through which you compose your reality. Allow the hum of your breath to settle into peaceful tempo before dreaming. Chapter 15. The Truth Behind Waiting. You have been dancing to the world's hurried tempo, believing that pushing harder would unlock your destiny. But the universe whispers a different truth. Alignment is not about force, but about receptivity. Like a river finding its natural course, your life's flow depends not on how frantically you paddle, but on how deeply you trust the current. May's journey illuminates this sacred principle. She had spent years micromanaging every detail, believing that constant effort would manifest her dreams. Her calendar was a battlefield of schedules, her mind a relentless general commanding time to submit. Yet dreams remained elusive, slipping through her tightly clenched fingers. The breakthrough came when she realized waiting was not weakness, but a profound spiritual practice. Anxiety creates static in your energetic transmission, while trust acts as a clear signal to the universe. Your emotional state is the antenna through which opportunities arrive. Claude's story mirrors this wisdom. For years, he harbored a dream of opening an art studio, but fear and doubt kept him paralyzed. He would sketch plans, then discard them. He would search for locations, then retreat. His internal resistance created an invisible barrier between desire and manifestation. Then something shifted. Claude stopped fighting time and started listening to his inner rhythm. He began to feel ready, not through external achievements, but through an internal sense of calm. His eagerness transformed into quiet confidence, and when that transformation occurred, opportunities began to flow with remarkable synchronicity. This is the essence of divine timing. It's not about waiting, but about being. Your readiness is an energy, a vibration that attracts matching experiences. Patience is not passive. It's an active state of trust, of knowing that what is meant for you cannot miss you. Your subconscious understands this language of trust far better than your rational mind's demands. When you soften your grip, you open channels of reception. The universe does not respond to force, but to alignment. Practice. Rest tonight, saying I relax into perfect timing, letting eagerness soften into faith. Chapter 16. The Alchemy of Forgiveness. You carry wounds like ancient maps, each crease a memory of hurt, each fold a moment of perceived betrayal. These emotional territories become familiar landscapes, so comfortable that you forget they are not your true home. Your subconscious mind records every story of pain, replaying them like a worn recording, trapping you in vibrational loops that disconnect you from your inherent power. Mabel understood this trap intimately. Her heart had become a museum of grievances, each unresolved conflict carefully preserved behind glass, preventing new energy from entering. Her sleep became a turbulent sea of unresolved emotions, waves of resentment crashing against the shores of her consciousness. The universal truth whispered softly as this: forgiveness is not about absolving another's actions, but releasing yourself from the prison of perpetual suffering. When you forgive, you are not condoning what happened, but reclaiming your inner peace. You are returning your energy to its natural state of flow. Luther's story illuminates this principle brilliantly. A business partner once betrayed his trust, stealing not just resources, but years of collaborative dreams. For months, Luther carried this wound, allowing anger to consume his creative energy. Every thought about the betrayal was like pouring salt into an open wound, preventing healing. Then something remarkable happened. Luther realized that his continuous replay of the betrayal was giving more power to the very experience he wished to transcend. By holding on to resentment, he was energetically binding himself to the very situation he wanted to escape. The moment Luther chose forgiveness, something shifted. Not a passive acceptance, but an active release. He recognized that the energy he spent on anger could be redirected toward creation. Within weeks of this internal transformation, opportunities began appearing, not just matching his previous losses, but doubling them. Your subconscious does not understand complex narratives of right and wrong. It comprehends only frequencies. When you forgive, you reset your internal vibration, sending a clear signal to the universe that you are ready for new experiences, unencumbered by past limitations. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is profound spiritual strength. It is the alchemical process of transforming pain into possibility, of turning lead memories into golden opportunities. Practice. Before resting, whisper liberation. As you prepare for sleep, place your hand gently over your heart. Take 3 deep breaths, allowing each exhale to feel like a soft release. Then whisper quietly, "I free them and myself," watching peace spread through my dreams. Let these words float like dandelion seeds, carrying away old hurts, making space for new beginnings. Chapter 17. Invisible Choices. In the quiet landscape of transformation, you carry more power than you realize. Each moment presents a choice, a microscopic pivot that can redirect entire rivers of possibility. Your subconscious does not distinguish between grand gestures and tiny intentional shifts. It merely responds to the consistent vibration you emit. Effie understood this truth after years of believing change required dramatic upheaval. She discovered that true transformation resides in the smallest of moments. A gentle thought, a brief pause of compassion, a millisecond of choosing peace over reaction. These micro-choices are the silent architects of your reality, reshaping your inner terrain with remarkable precision. Consider Kenny, a man who once believed momentum required Herculean effort. He learned that by simply choosing better feelings hourly, a smile instead of a sigh, curiosity instead of judgment, his entire external world began to rearrange itself. Where he once saw obstacles, synchronicities now blossomed. Where struggle once dominated, ease began to flow. Your subconscious is an exquisite listener, attuned to the subtlest frequencies of your inner dialogue. It does not weigh actions by their apparent magnitude, but by the emotional charge they carry. A moment of genuine appreciation carries more transformative power than hours of forced affirmation. A breath of true compassion can dissolve years of accumulated resistance. Think of your consciousness as a garden. Each thought is a seed, each feeling the water and sunlight. You need not plant entire forests at once. A single, carefully tended seed can grow into a magnificent tree. Your micro-choices are these seeds, seemingly insignificant yet pregnant with potential. The universe responds not to your grand declarations, but to your quiet, consistent vibration. When you choose peace in a moment of potential conflict, when you breathe kindness into a space of potential judgment, you are writing new instructions for your subconscious. These are the true moments of alchemy, where lead transforms into gold. Interpretation whispers a profound truth. Honor these small shifts. They are not mere drops in an ocean, but the very currents that shape entire landscapes. Your subtle choices are the quantum instructions that reprogram your reality's blueprint. Practice. Fall asleep acknowledging that minor goodness today becomes tomorrow's abundance. Breathe softly and feel the gentle momentum of your smallest, kindest choices. Let them settle into your subconscious like quiet seeds of miraculous potential. Chapter 18. The Still Mind Gateway. In the bustling landscape of your inner world, noise often masquerades as progress. You have been taught that action conquers all, that movement equals transformation. But what if the most powerful shifts happen in the quietest moments? What if stillness is not inaction, but the most profound form of creation? Hazel had spent years chasing peace through endless activities, workshops, retreats, self-help books, meditation classes. She filled her calendar with strategies for transformation, believing that each workshop would unlock her potential. Yet, the more she sought, the more elusive peace became. One unremarkable afternoon, exhausted from her perpetual pursuit, Hazel simply stopped, not in defeat, but in a moment of unexpected surrender. She sat quietly, not trying to meditate, not attempting to achieve anything. And in that unexpected stillness, something extraordinary happened. The core truth revealed itself. Silence resets inner frequencies faster than any external action. Your subconscious does not respond to noise, but to the pure, uninterrupted vibration of calm awareness. When all external demands cease, your deeper self begins to recalibrate, realigning with its natural state of harmony. Floyd's journey mirrored this revelation. A corporate executive perpetually surrounded by meetings and digital notifications, he discovered meditation not as another task, but as a gateway to effortless inspiration. Each morning, he would sit for 15 minutes, not forcing thoughts away, but simply witnessing them like passing clouds. What Floyd learned, and what you must understand, is that stillness is not absence, but a profound form of presence. It is not a pause in action, but an alignment with divine rhythm. In those quiet moments, your subconscious receives clear instructions, uncluttered by the static of constant mental chatter. Think of your mind as a still pond. When the surface is turbulent with waves of thought, you cannot see clearly. But when the water becomes perfectly calm, every detail beneath becomes visible. Your inner wisdom emerges not through struggle, but through patient, loving awareness. The practice of stillness is not about achieving a blank mind, but about creating space for your innate intelligence to communicate. Each moment of quiet is an invitation to your deeper self, a chance to reset, realign, and remember your intrinsic power. Your subconscious speaks in whispers, not shouts. It communicates through feeling, through the subtle language of intuition. When you learn to listen in the spaces between thoughts, you decode messages that were always present, waiting for your attention. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, you have a sacred opportunity. Focus on the gentle silence between your breaths. Let this silence be your golden portal, a threshold between your conscious mind and the infinite intelligence that guides your journey. Rest tonight, focusing on the gentle silence between breaths as your mind's golden portal. Chapter 19. The Vibration of Joy. In the symphony of life's challenges, you are learning that joy is not merely an emotion, but a powerful alchemical force that transforms reality. Your subconscious listens most attentively not to your struggles but to the frequency of your laughter. Consider Nancy, a woman who discovered that when the world seemed to constrict around her, dance and spontaneous joy became her liberation. Each time life's weight pressed heavily upon her shoulders, she would move, sometimes wildly, sometimes gently, allowing rhythm to dissolve the tension binding her spirit. Her dance was not an escape, but a deliberate reprogramming of her internal landscape. As she twirled and moved, her problems would seemingly shrink, losing their menacing shadows. This was no coincidence, but a profound understanding of vibrational law. Joy magnetizes solutions faster than prolonged analysis ever could. Nearby, Chester embodied a similar wisdom. When setbacks threatened to overwhelm him, he chose humor as his weapon, not a cynical mockery, but a genuine, light-hearted approach that transformed obstacles into opportunities. His laughter became a frequency that attracted similarly buoyant souls, creating a network of support and unexpected pathways. The universe, you must understand, responds to your energetic signature. Humor and joy are high-frequency emissions that cut through resistance like sunlight dissolving morning mist. They are not trivial responses, but sophisticated tools of conscious creation. Your subconscious does not distinguish between serious contemplation and joyful exploration. It simply receives and reflects the dominant emotional frequency. When you approach life's challenges with a smile, with an internal chuckle at the beautiful complexity of existence, you signal to your deeper self that you are not defeated. You are learning, growing, expanding. Chester's story illustrates this perfectly. Where others might have succumbed to stress, he chose lightness. His laughter wasn't denial, but a radical acceptance. Each chuckle was a reprogramming signal, telling his subconscious that he was resilient, adaptable, and fundamentally connected to life's inherent abundance. This is not about forcing happiness or denying genuine emotions. It is about recognizing joy as a powerful manifestation tool. Your higher self understands this intuitively. It knows that when you laugh, you are momentarily free from the tight grip of fear, doubt, and limitation. Practice. Drift into dreams smiling, picturing your higher self laughing tenderly with you. Chapter 20. The Circle of Giving and Receiving. In the intricate dance of universal energy, you are both the giver and the receiver, a conduit through which abundance flows. June's journey illuminates a profound truth many overlook. The art of receiving is as sacred as the act of giving. When she first began to notice her habitual rejection of kindness, she realized how tightly she had closed herself off from the very abundance she desired. Your subconscious learns through every interaction, every moment of exchange. When you refuse a compliment, dismiss a gift, or minimize your worth, you send a subtle message to the universe that you are not ready to receive. This resistance creates an energetic blockage, a dam that prevents the natural circulation of prosperity. Ray's story reveals the transformative power of generous spirit. Despite facing financial challenges, he chose to tip generously, not from a place of calculation, but from genuine joy. Each time he offered money with a light heart, he broke through the scarcity mindset that had previously imprisoned his potential. The universe responded not to the amount, but to the vibration of his giving, a frequency of abundance, trust, and interconnectedness. Understand that giving and receiving are not separate actions, but a singular flowing rhythm. Like breath moving in and out, abundance circulates through you when you remain open. Your worth is not determined by what you accumulate, but by your willingness to participate in this energetic exchange with grace and gratitude. The interpretation of this wisdom is clear. Abundance speaks a language of reciprocity. When you close yourself to receiving, you interrupt the natural flow of universal energy. Imagine your life as a river. When you block one stream, the entire system becomes stagnant. But when you allow both giving and receiving to move freely, you create a powerful current of manifestation. This is not about monetary exchange alone, but about all forms of abundance, love, support, recognition, opportunity. Each compliment you accept, each help you welcome, each kindness you receive with an open heart expands your capacity to attract more goodness. Ray's experience demonstrates that generosity is not about depletion, but restoration. By giving joyfully, even when resources seemed scarce, he restored his receiving channels. The miracles that returned to him were multiplied, not through magical thinking, but through the fundamental law of energetic circulation. Your practice is to embrace both sides of abundance's coin, to give with an open hand and receive with an equally open heart. Recognize that when you truly accept a gift, a kind word, or an opportunity, you are not being selfish. You are participating in the universal dance of energy, honoring the interconnectedness of all things. As you rest, mentally thank the universe for letting you both give and receive with grace. Part 3. The Night Becomes Your Teacher. Chapter 21. Listening with the Soul. You stand at the threshold of your most powerful guidance system, intuition. It speaks not in thunderous declarations, but in gentle whispers barely perceptible to the analytical mind. Polly's journey reveals the delicate art of listening beneath the noise of overthinking, where true wisdom resides. Intuition is your subconscious wisdom, unfiltered and pure. It emerges not from calculation, but from a deeper knowing that transcends logical reasoning. When you quiet the mind's constant chatter, you create space for these subtle inner signals to emerge, like moonlight filtering through dense clouds. Vernon's transformation illustrates the profound power of trusting these inner nudges. Where logic might have counseled caution, his willingness to follow gentle, intuitive guidance led him to unexpected friendships that fundamentally reshaped his financial landscape. Each small whisper, when honored, became a stepping stone to remarkable change. Your intuition communicates through feelings, sudden knowing, and synchronistic promptings that seem to arrive without conscious effort. It is a navigation system far more sophisticated than rational thought, connecting you to a broader field of intelligence that sees beyond immediate circumstances. When you overthink, you construct mental barriers that block these subtle transmissions. Polly discovered that her constant mental analysis acted like static, disrupting the clear signal of her inner guidance. By learning to quiet her mind and listen, truly listen, she opened herself to a more intelligent way of perceiving and responding to life. The practice of intuitive listening requires trust, not blind faith, but a cultivated openness to guidance that arrives without explanation. Your logical mind will always seek proof, but intuition operates on a different frequency, one of feeling and immediate recognition. Vernon's path demonstrates that these inner whispers are remarkably accurate when trusted. They are not random thoughts, but precise coordinates guiding you toward your most aligned experiences. Each time he followed a subtle prompt, doors opened that his rational mind could never have predicted. Your subconscious holds a vast reservoir of wisdom accumulated through experiences, cellular memory, and connections beyond immediate perception. Intuition is its language, a direct communication channel that bypasses intellectual filtering. Learning to trust these whispers requires practice. It demands that you suspend judgment, release the need for immediate understanding, and allow guidance to emerge naturally. Like a radio signal becoming clearer as you adjust the dial, your intuitive reception improves with gentle, consistent attention. The interpretation of this wisdom is clear. Surrender your need to control every outcome. Your inner guidance system knows pathways your conscious mind cannot comprehend. By creating moments of quiet receptivity, you allow these insights to surface. As night approaches and your conscious mind prepares to rest, you enter a liminal space perfect for intuitive communication. The boundary between waking and dreaming becomes a portal for profound insight. Before sleep, ask your higher self a question and trust the first gentle thought upon waking. Chapter 22. The Script You Forgot You Wrote. In the silent theater of your inner world, words echo like ancient whispers, carrying memories and meanings far beyond their original utterance. You are not merely a listener to these scripts, but their potential author, a creator waiting to rewrite the narratives that have unconsciously guided your journey. Tessie's story illuminates a profound truth. The voices that shaped your earliest understanding often become invisible architects of your current reality. These childhood echoes, fragments of parental warnings, societal expectations, or moments of unintended criticism, can become invisible chains constraining your potential. Imagine your subconscious as a vast library, where these inherited scripts are stored like dusty volumes. Each time you replay these narratives, you're not good enough. Success is difficult. People like you don't achieve such things. You reinforce their power. But what if you could enter this library and gently replace those worn texts with new, empowering manuscripts? Marvin understood this transformative process. Recognizing that his struggles stemmed from internalized limitations, he began a nightly ritual of conscious rewriting. Each evening he would sit quietly, identifying the old stories that no longer served him. With deliberate intention, he would mentally cross out limiting beliefs and inscribe new declarations of strength, possibility, and self-worth. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is remembered and what is repeatedly imagined. By consistently introducing new narratives, spoken with genuine emotion and belief, you signal to your deeper mind a new operational manual. Your inner system begins recalibrating, aligning with these fresh instructions. This is not about denial or forced positivity, but conscious recalibration. You are not erasing your history, but choosing which aspects of that history will continue to influence your present. Each time you consciously replace a fear-based script with one of empowerment, you loosen the grip of inherited limitations. Your subconscious is perpetually listening, always ready to be guided. It does not judge between what you think is possible and impossible. It simply follows the most consistent and emotionally charged instructions. When you begin authoring your own narrative with conviction, the universe begins to rearrange itself to match your newfound frequency. The power resides not in perfection, but in persistent, gentle redirection. Like a gardener tending delicate seedlings, you nurture these new belief structures with patience, compassion, and unwavering trust. As you drift into slumber, silently declare, "I write new scripts of peace now." Chapter 23. The Glow of Self-Compassion. In the quiet corners of your inner landscape, where shadows of self-criticism have long resided, a transformation awaits. You have carried scripts written by harsh voices, fragments of judgment passed down through generations, whispers that echoed your deepest fears about imperfection. The truth vibrates softly. Every mistake is merely an unfinished invitation to growth. Your subconscious does not judge. It listens, learns, and transforms. When Jenny first discovered this, her entire world shifted. She had spent years berating herself for every perceived failure, each misstep becoming another brick in a wall of shame. But compassion is the universal solvent that dissolves these rigid constructions. Imagine your inner dialogue as a garden. Harsh words are thorns that choke potential, while kind thoughts are gentle waters nurturing seeds of possibility. Each time you speak to yourself with tenderness, you're replanting that garden. Clydene's journey illuminated this profound truth. Where once she saw flaws, she began to see learning opportunities. Her transformation wasn't about achieving perfection, but accepting herself as a beautiful, evolving process. The moment she embraced herself as work in progress, something miraculous occurred. Her anxiety didn't just diminish, it evaporated. Your subconscious listens to every whisper, every tone. When you replace criticism with compassion, you're sending a revolutionary message. I am worthy, exactly as I am in this moment. This isn't passive acceptance, but active love, a powerful frequency that rewrites your internal script. The universe responds to your internal narrative with exquisite precision. Self-love is not a destination, but a continuous practice of radical acceptance. Each gentle thought is a bridge connecting your current self with your most expansive potential. Your cells remember every word, every emotion. They are not just biological structures, but conscious listeners storing memories and frequencies. When you choose kindness, you're instructing your entire energetic system to align with grace. Interpretation reveals a profound truth. Self-love is the ultimate permission slip for abundance. By accepting yourself completely, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive, to grow, to flourish. As night approaches and consciousness softens, you have a sacred opportunity. Settle into rest with a soft smile and tell every cell, "Thank you for keeping me through it all." Chapter 24. Shadows as Teachers. In the quiet landscape of your inner world, shadows are not enemies to be vanquished, but messengers waiting to be understood. Your insecurities are not flaws, but tender places yearning for your most profound compassion. Bessie discovered this truth when she began listening to her fears instead of fighting them. Each trembling thought carried a whisper of unmet needs, a delicate map revealing where love had not yet fully penetrated her being. Your inner landscape is not a battlefield, but a garden where every emotion, even those you label as uncomfortable, deserves gentle attention. When Bessie first recognized her insecurities, she approached them differently. Instead of pushing them away, she leaned closer. She asked, "What are you trying to tell me?" This simple act of compassionate inquiry transformed her relationship with herself. The shadows that once seemed threatening now appeared as fragile, wounded parts seeking understanding. Frank's journey mirrored this profound shift. He noticed how his jealousy, an emotion he had long condemned, contained valuable information. Rather than rejecting it, he listened. What emerged was not weakness, but an honest reflection of his desires, his unacknowledged aspirations. By befriending this emotion, Frank discovered it was pointing toward unexplored potential within himself. The subconscious speaks in the language of acceptance. When you embrace all aspects of yourself, the brilliant and the broken, the confident and the fearful, you send a powerful message. You declare that you are whole, that nothing about you is unworthy of love. This completeness resonates at a frequency that attracts alignment and opportunity. Your shadows are not separate from your light. They are the very soil from which your most authentic self grows. Each uncomfortable emotion is an invitation to deeper self-understanding. They are not obstacles, but bridges, connecting your surface awareness to the profound wisdom residing in your inner landscape. The universe does not judge your emotions. It simply responds to your energy of acceptance or resistance. When you meet your fears, your doubts, your jealousies with compassion, you transmute their energy. What once felt like a burden becomes a source of insight, a catalyst for growth. Tonight, as darkness falls and your conscious mind prepares to rest, you have a sacred opportunity. Greet any uncomfortable emotion with radical compassion. Whisper softly to those shadowy feelings, "You too are loved." Practice. Tonight, greet any uncomfortable emotion with compassion, saying, "You too are loved." Chapter 25. The Power of Presence. In the vast landscape of human experience, your greatest power resides not in elaborate strategies, but in the pure, luminous moment of now. You are not a collection of past wounds or future anxieties, but a living, breathing portal of infinite potential, always ready, always unfolding. Laura's journey illuminated this timeless truth. Presence is not a technique, but a remembrance. When you anchor yourself completely in the current breath, in the texture of this exact moment, you dissolve the illusory barriers between what is and what could be. Your consciousness becomes a clear vessel through which miracles naturally flow. Consider Bert, an artist whose creativity was once strangled by constant projection and planning. He would spend hours imagining perfect paintings, mapping techniques, worrying about reception, and yet his canvas remained frustratingly blank. Until he discovered something revolutionary. True artistry emerges not from mental manipulation, but from total immersion in the now. When Bert learned to sit with his materials, breathing into the present moment, something extraordinary happened. His hand moved with spontaneous grace. Colors blended themselves. Brush strokes emerged, not from calculation, but from a deep, intuitive listening. He was no longer trying to create art. He was allowing art to create itself through him. This is the profound secret of presence. It is not about controlling outcomes, but about becoming a clear channel. Your subconscious knows exactly how to align circumstances when you stop interrupting its natural intelligence with constant mental chatter. Each moment you truly inhabit becomes a quantum field of possibility, where synchronicity dances and miracles are born. The universe responds to your state of being, not your doing. When you are fully present, you emit a frequency of openness and trust. Problems that seemed insurmountable dissolve. Opportunities you could never have planned suddenly appear. Your energy becomes a magnet for grace. Presence is not passive waiting, but active receptivity. It is a dynamic stillness where you are simultaneously relaxed and alert, soft and powerful. You are not resisting what is, but flowing with it, trusting that each moment contains everything you need. The practice is simple, yet profound. Allow your breath tonight to anchor you in now, noticing how peace itself manifests. Chapter 26. The Infinite Yes. You stand at the threshold of transformation, where every whispered yes becomes a key unlocking hidden chambers of potential within your soul. Pollyanna's journey illuminates a profound universal truth. Rejection is but a misunderstood invitation, and your openness determines the universe's response. Once, Pollyanna trembled at opportunities, her heart constricted by fear's tight grip. Each invitation seemed like a test she might fail, each chance a potential moment of humiliation. But wisdom crept into her understanding like soft moonlight, revealing that rejection is not a verdict, but a redirection. The teaching is clear. Confidence is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move through it. When you say yes with genuine openness, you send a vibration through the invisible threads connecting your inner world to external reality. Your subconscious begins to understand that you are worthy of expansion, of receiving, of becoming. Curtis embodied this principle beautifully. Where he once hesitated, he began saying yes, first to small invitations, then to increasingly significant opportunities. A casual networking event led to a conversation that transformed his career. An unexpected workshop invitation opened doors to international collaborations. Each yes was a brushstroke, painting a new landscape of possibility. Your subconscious listens intently to every signal you send. When you embrace opportunities with trust, you communicate a fundamental message. I am ready, I am open, I am worthy. This communication rewrites old scripts of limitation, replacing them with narratives of abundance and potential. The interpretation is profound, yet simple. Every acceptance is a door unlocked within, not through force or struggle, but through gentle, courageous openness. You are not conquering your fears, you are befriending them, understanding they are merely signals asking you to expand. Curtis discovered that saying yes was not about external achievements, but internal transformation. Each acceptance was a declaration of self-worth, a subtle reprogramming of his inner belief system. Opportunities began to seek him out, drawn by the magnetic field of his newfound confidence. Your journey mirrors this wisdom. The universe responds not to your perfect actions, but to your authentic presence. When you say yes with an open heart, you signal readiness to receive, to grow, to become. As night approaches and dreams prepare to weave their mysterious tapestries, you have a sacred practice waiting. Before slumber, whisper softly, "Yes, I am ready." Feeling light expand outward, touching the edges of your being, dissolving boundaries between what you perceive as possible and the infinite potential that awaits your gentle invitation. Chapter 27. Nourishing, the invisible. In the quiet garden of your consciousness, energy flows like water, nourishing dreams long before they bloom into reality. Your attention is the most potent fertilizer, more powerful than any physical nutrient. Eula understood this secret when she began speaking to her houseplants not as silent objects, but as living companions eager to receive her love. Each morning, she would stand before her green companions and whisper words of affection. "You are beautiful. You are strong. You are growing." Her plants responded with vibrant leaves and unexpected resilience. But more remarkably, Eula noticed her own life mirroring this botanical transformation. Where once her days felt stagnant and constrained, now opportunities emerged spontaneously. Promotions appeared, relationships deepened, and her inner landscape became as lush as her carefully tended indoor forest. The plants were more than decorations. They were living metaphors of her inner growth. Glenn observed a similar phenomenon through his morning gratitude ritual. Each day, he would pause and acknowledge the abundance already present in his life. "Thank you for this breath," he would say. "Thank you for this moment." His gratitude wasn't a performance, but a genuine recognition of life's continuous generosity. The universe, Glenn discovered, responds to sincere appreciation. Where others saw lack, he cultivated a sense of inherent wealth. His business began attracting unexpected clients, his relationships became more harmonious, and his inner peace seemed to radiate a magnetic quality that drew prosperity closer. Both Eula and Glenn understood a fundamental truth: energy flows where attention goes. Nurturing unseen networks of possibility requires consistent, loving attention. Your thoughts are not merely passive observations, but active creators, constantly communicating with the quantum field around you. The interpretation is clear. What you consistently feed with loving awareness will inevitably grow. Your inner dialogue, your morning rituals, your quiet moments of appreciation. These are the true seeds of manifestation. They operate beyond the visible, working in realms where intention transforms potential into reality. As you rest, imagine invisible roots of love growing beneath all your wishes. Chapter 28. The Memory of Light. In the soft twilight between waking and dreaming, you possess a power far more potent than you realize. Your memories are not mere echoes of the past, but living vibrations that can reshape your present moment. Viola understood this secret, that joy is not a fleeting experience, but an eternal state waiting to be recalled and rekindled. When Viola first discovered the transformative power of her memories, she was navigating a period of uncertainty. Life had presented her with challenges that seemed to dim her natural brightness. Yet she remembered her grandmother's wisdom. Your heart knows more than your mind can calculate. One evening, as shadows lengthened and the day's worries began to settle, Viola began deliberately revisiting moments of pure, unbridled happiness. She remembered her college graduation, the warmth of her family's pride radiating around her. She recalled a summer afternoon when laughter echoed through a sunlit garden, her closest friends surrounding her with love and possibility. Each memory was not just a passive remembrance, but an active instruction to her subconscious. She realized that by feeling the exact emotional texture of those moments, the lightness, the expansion, the sense of unlimited potential, she was sending a profound message to her inner self. Joy is my natural state. Abundance is my birthright. Norman, who shared a similar journey, discovered that emotional mimicry was a powerful manifestation technique. He would spend quiet moments meticulously reconstructing his past victories, not as distant memories, but as living, breathing experiences. When he remembered closing his first significant business deal, he didn't just recall the event. He immersed himself in the exact feelings of triumph, confidence, and possibility. The subconscious, you see, does not distinguish between a vividly remembered experience and a present moment. It responds to emotion, to vibration. By consistently revisiting states of joy, success, and abundance, Norman began to attract experiences that matched those energetic signatures. Viola and Norman's experiences illuminate a profound truth. Memory is not a static archive, but an active garden where you plant and nurture the seeds of your future. Each time you choose to remember a moment of joy, love, or success, you're essentially watering those seeds, instructing your inner landscape to bloom with similar experiences. The interpretation is clear. Your memories are not just records of what has been, but instructions for what can be. They are energetic blueprints, powerful transmissions that communicate to the universe your inherent capacity for joy, success, and abundance. As the night approaches and sleep beckons, you have a sacred opportunity. Let memories of love replay like lullabies as you fade to sleep, affirming they are real now. Chapter 29. The Dream Beyond Dreaming. Your consciousness is a living, breathing landscape, far more expansive than the narrow corridors of waking perception. Within this inner realm, dreams are not mere phantoms, but powerful workshops where your deepest intentions take shape, where reality's blueprints are first sketched in the luminous ink of imagination. Tilda discovered this truth when she first learned to navigate her dreams with intention. Where once her nights were a cascade of random imagery, now they became deliberate journeys of transformation. She understood that lucid dreaming was not an escape from reality, but a direct portal to conscious creation. The ancient wisdom whispers that your dream state is a sacred threshold, a space where the boundaries between thought and manifestation grow thin. In this twilight realm, you are both the architect and the canvas, painting your desires with the brush of pure awareness. When Tilda first began practicing lucid dreaming, she approached it not as a novelty, but as a profound spiritual technology. She learned to recognize the dream's malleable nature, understanding that consciousness could shape experience, just as water takes the form of its container. Gordon's journey paralleled hers. A businessman trapped in repetitive cycles, he discovered that by consciously rehearsing success scenarios in his dreams, he was reprogramming his subconscious navigation system. Each night, he would enter his dreamscape with clarity, visualizing himself making bold decisions, connecting with inspiring collaborators, and experiencing abundant opportunities. The teaching reveals a fundamental truth. Your dreams are not random projections, but intelligent communications from your deeper self. They are not mere reflections of your day, but active training grounds where your soul refines its manifestation skills. Each lucid moment is a sacred rehearsal, each conscious dream a vibrational blueprint being etched into the fabric of potential. When you learn to be aware within your dreams, you activate a profound inner alchemy. You are no longer a passive dreamer, but a conscious creator, weaving the threads of possibility with intentional awareness. The dream becomes a laboratory where limiting beliefs dissolve and empowering narratives take root. The interpretation is clear. Dream awareness is advanced spiritual technology. It is a method of reprogramming your internal landscape, of communicating directly with the subconscious mind in its most receptive state. Here, beyond the rigid structures of waking logic, you can rewrite your story with the fluid grace of pure potential. Tonight affirm, I am aware even as I dream, aligning both worlds into harmony. Chapter 30. The morning you become new. As you awaken to the gentle light of dawn, you sense something profound has shifted within you. The nights of intentional listening have transformed your inner landscape, like a silent orchestra tuning its instruments to a new, harmonious frequency. Your subconscious, that vast, mysterious realm where your deepest beliefs reside, has been carefully recalibrated through weeks of conscious practice. Selma's journey mirrors your own awakening. She discovered that the night is not merely a time of rest, but a sacred workshop where your most powerful reprogramming occurs. Each evening, as you surrendered to sleep, you were actually conducting a most delicate operation, rewriting the scripts that have long governed your life's experience. The teaching reveals a magnificent truth. Your subconscious is endlessly malleable, waiting for your conscious guidance. Like Lowell, who found his morning suddenly infused with clarity and purpose, you too can witness the miraculous transformation when your inner beliefs align with your highest potential. Your mind is not a fixed entity, but a dynamic landscape of infinite possibility. The work you have done in the quiet hours, listening, affirming, releasing, now begins to bloom in your waking reality. Each thought you've carefully planted during your nighttime practices now takes root, reshaping your perception, your responses, your very energy. The sunrise becomes more than a daily occurrence. It is a symbol of your internal rebirth. Just as the sun emerges effortlessly, painting the sky with light, your newly coded subconscious truths now emerge through you, calm, confident, clear. You are witnessing the alchemy of conscious creation. The boundaries between your dreams and your waking life dissolve, revealing that they were never truly separate. Your nights have been preparing you, teaching you, reshaping you. As you stand at this threshold of transformation, remember that every moment is an opportunity to continue this sacred work of inner listening and alignment. Practice. At bedtime and upon waking, simply think, "Thank you, my mind is new, my day divine." Part 4. The Golden Continuum of Becoming. Chapter 31. The River Remembers You. You have been taught to believe that life is a series of calculated moves, a chess game where every decision determines your fate. But what if life is more like a river, a flowing, intelligent current that knows precisely where it needs to go? Ella's journey illuminates this profound truth. She had spent years gripping the paddles of her life's boat, exhausting herself with constant navigation and control. Each decision felt like a battle, each choice a potential misstep. Her hands were calloused from rowing against the current, her spirit weary from the relentless struggle, until one moment of profound revelation. When Ella finally released her grip, something miraculous occurred. The river, which represented her life's path, did not abandon her. Instead, it cradled her, moved her, guided her with an intelligence far beyond her mental calculations. This is the teaching your soul has been whispering. Your inner flow carries the memory of every desired outcome. Your struggles do not create direction, they create turbulence. Resistance is the only thing preventing your natural progression. Walter's story echoes this wisdom. A man who once meticulously planned every detail of his existence, he discovered that trusting small, almost imperceptible intuitive nudges transformed his journey. These gentle whispers, barely audible beneath the noise of rational thought, began arranging meetings, resources, and opportunities with a precision no human planning could achieve. When you surrender to your life's rhythm, you are not being passive. You are practicing the highest form of mastery. Imagine a leaf floating on a river. It does not fight the current, yet it arrives exactly where it needs to be. Your soul operates with the same elegant intelligence. Alignment is not about controlling the outcome, but about remembering your natural current. It's recognizing that you are not separate from the flow of life, but an integral part of its intelligent design. Every twist, every unexpected turn carries wisdom. Every moment is perfectly orchestrated, even when it doesn't appear so from your limited perspective. Your intuition is the compass, but not in the way you might think. It's not a tool for making rigid decisions, but a gentle remembrance of your soul's deeper knowing. When you learn to listen, truly listen, to these soft, almost imperceptible nudges, life begins to move through you rather than you moving through life. This is not about passivity or resignation. This is active, conscious participation with the universal intelligence that breathes you, moves you, supports you in every single moment. Practice. Before sleep, envision yourself resting upon a gentle current, whispering all is unfolding perfectly. Chapter 32. Silence speaks first. The art of listening begins where noise ends. You have been taught to chase sound, to fill every moment with rhythm and motion. Yet the most profound teachings emerge in the spaces between thoughts. Dorothy's journey reveals a truth more ancient than words, that silence is not absence, but the most potent form of presence. When Dorothy first encountered the power of quiet, she was a woman constantly surrounded by music, radio, conversation, anything to drown out the whispers of her inner landscape. Her days were a cacophony of external noise, a shield against the vulnerability of true listening. Music became her armor, sound her constant companion. But something shifted when she accidentally experienced a moment of complete stillness. It happened unexpectedly. A power outage in her home, all electronic devices suddenly silent. In that unexpected quiet, she heard something she had never noticed before, the subtle language of her own inner wisdom. The universe communicates in whispers, not shouts. Your subconscious understands this language intimately, receiving guidance through the most delicate frequencies of silence. Like Melvin, who discovered his most brilliant ideas emerged in the early morning hush, you too can learn to hear the soft instructions of your deeper self. Silence is not emptiness. It is a living, breathing intelligence. It is the space where potential takes shape, where intuition crystallizes, where the quantum field of possibility transforms into tangible reality. When you stop filling every moment with external noise, you create a receptive environment for divine guidance. Melvin's story illuminates this principle beautifully. A creative professional constantly bombarded by deadlines and demands, he found his most innovative solutions not in intense brainstorming sessions, but in those quiet moments just before dawn. When the world was still sleeping, and his mind had not yet engaged its habitual patterns of thinking, brilliant ideas would simply arrive, fully formed, elegant in their simplicity. This is not coincidence. This is the subconscious mind communicating in its native tongue. Silence is its primary language, a direct channel to infinite intelligence. Every great inventor, every mystic, every visionary understands this fundamental truth. Breakthrough happens in stillness. Your subconscious decodes peace as readiness. It interprets silence not as lack, but as an invitation, a sacred space where new possibilities can emerge without resistance. When you stop defending, explaining, and controlling, you allow the universe to whisper its secrets. Lay in bed and let silence become your conversation with creation itself. This is not a metaphor, but a literal practice of communion. As you rest, release the need to understand, to analyze, to solve. Simply be present. Let the silence envelop you, flow through you, speak to you. In this moment of pure receptivity, you are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are its living expression, its ongoing conversation with itself. Chapter 33. The Compass of Emotion. Your emotions are not random weather patterns passing through your inner landscape. They are precise navigational instruments, meticulously calibrated to guide you toward your most resonant future. Each feeling you experience is a subtle signal, a vibrational compass pointing toward or away from your deepest desires. Polly had spent years believing external circumstances dictated her journey. She chased opportunities, followed logical plans, and exhausted herself attempting to control every variable. Yet something always felt misaligned, as if she were reading a map in a language she couldn't fully comprehend. The revelation came quietly, like sunlight gradually illuminating a dim room. Your emotions are not reactions to life, but instructions to life. They are not consequences, but coordinates. When Polly began tracking her feelings with the same attention a navigator might study celestial charts, she discovered a profound truth. Every emotional state broadcasts your precise energetic location in the universe of potential. Clifford's story echoed this wisdom. A businessman trapped in a cycle of strategic planning and incremental progress, he had always believed success was about calculated moves. But when he started allowing joy to be his primary navigation tool, something extraordinary occurred. Instead of pushing against resistance, he began following the path of least emotional friction. Where fear once constricted his choices, joy now expanded them. Where anxiety had mapped complicated routes, enthusiasm revealed direct pathways. Clifford noticed opportunities emerging not through force, but through alignment. Clients appeared, collaborations materialized, insights arrived unbidden. This is the language of emotional cartography, where your feelings are not just internal experiences but precise guidance systems. Negative emotions signal misalignment, while positive emotions indicate you're tracking toward your truest path. They are not to be suppressed or ignored, but listened to with the same careful attention a seasoned captain gives to navigational instruments. Your subconscious understands this language fluently. It receives emotional signals as clear instructions. Instantly begin recalibrating your inner and outer reality to match the frequency you're broadcasting. When you feel joy, your entire energetic system begins arranging circumstances to sustain and amplify that joy. The interpretation is clear. Emotions are your built-in GPS to abundance. They are not random but intelligent communication from your deeper self, constantly guiding you toward expansion, healing, and manifestation. Practice. As you drift into rest, note how peaceful feelings point true north for tomorrow. Chapter 34. Trusting Invisible Allies. You stand at the threshold of understanding that success is never a solitary journey. Your achievements are not solely the product of individual effort, but a grand symphony of unseen collaborations, whispered guidance, and cosmic alignments. Maybelle discovered this truth when she paused her relentless pursuit and listened. For years, she believed her triumphs were the result of sheer willpower and strategic planning. Her spreadsheets were meticulously crafted, her goals rigidly defined, her work ethic uncompromising. Yet something shifted when she began to recognize the invisible threads weaving through her life's tapestry. The universe, you learn, does not operate in isolation. It conspires, collaborates, and communicates in languages beyond human perception. Every coincidence is a messenger, every unexpected encounter a potential doorway, every intuitive nudge a gentle guidance from realms unseen. Franklin's story illuminates this principle brilliantly. A businessman who once believed success was a battle to be won, he gradually understood that manifestation is a dance of cooperation. When he softened his rigid approach and started acknowledging the subtle energies around him, remarkable synchronicities emerged. One seemingly ordinary morning, Franklin sensed an unusual calm. Instead of forcing connections, he remained open. By afternoon, a chance conversation led to a partnership that would transform his entire career. Not through aggressive networking, but through receptive presence. The partnership felt less like a strategic conquest and more like a natural unfolding. This teaching reveals a profound truth. Your conscious intention is merely one instrument in an intricate orchestra. Intuition, timing, unseen energetic currents, these are your collaborators. Pride and control are barriers. Surrender and trust are the pathways. Your journey is not about manipulating outcomes, but about aligning with the greater intelligence that surrounds you. Each moment of openness is an invitation for unseen assistance. Your role is not to micromanage, but to remain receptive, to trust, to listen. The interpretation is clear. Faith in unseen cooperation transforms struggle into flow. Success becomes less about individual effort and more about harmonizing with the intelligent, supportive universe that is always conspiring in your favor. As your body relaxes, thank your unseen team for their tireless orchestration. Chapter 35. The Symphony of Yes and No. In the grand tapestry of existence, you are not merely a passive thread, but the weaver of your own intricate design. Every choice, whether embraced or resisted, contributes to the masterpiece of your unfolding journey. Elsie once saw decisions as burdens, wrestling with each crossroad as though life demanded a singular perfect path. Yet the universe whispers a different truth. That indecision is not weakness, but a sacred moment of cosmic calibration. When you stand at the intersection of possibilities, know that both the path taken and the path declined are teachers. Each no is not a rejection, but a redirection. Each seeming obstacle is a gentle nudge from the universe, guiding you toward alignment with your deepest truth. Like a masterful composer arranging notes, your experiences, both harmonious and dissonant, create the symphony of your becoming. Jasper understood this wisdom intimately. Where others might have seen closed doors as failures, he recognized them as precise instruments of refinement. Each rejection was not a wall, but a compass pointing toward more resonant opportunities. His perspective transformed what might have crushed another's spirit into a powerful catalyst of growth. The universe communicates through subtle vibrations, and your willingness to listen determines the clarity of its message. Contrast is not conflict, but conversation. When you learn to hear both the yes and the no as equally valuable frequencies, you unlock a profound understanding that every experience is sculpting your intention with exquisite precision. Your mind is not a battlefield where decisions wage war, but a sacred space where intuition composes its delicate music. Each choice, whether it appears as acceptance or release, is a note in this intricate melody. The spiritual musician knows that dissonance is not something to be feared, but a necessary counterpoint that gives depth and meaning to the overall composition. Trust becomes your most powerful instrument. Trust that when something falls away, it creates space for something more aligned. Trust that your inner guidance system is always communicating, even and especially when the message arrives in unexpected packaging. The path of spiritual mastery is not about eliminating uncertainty, but about dancing with it. Embracing both the light and shadow, the yes and the no, you become fluid. You become a vessel so open that life's wisdom can flow through you unobstructed. As the night approaches and your consciousness prepares to drift into restoration, you are invited to a sacred practice of acceptance and alignment. Tonight, bless one past no as sacred guidance and drift into harmonized knowing. Chapter 36. The Breath Between Worlds. You stand at the threshold between waking and dreaming, breath being the silent messenger that traverses both realms. Like a delicate thread weaving through the fabric of consciousness, your breath holds the power to connect what appears separate, the conscious and subconscious minds. Charlotte discovered this sacred connection accidentally. During moments of profound relaxation, she noticed how her breath became a gentle bridge, carrying insights from the deep wells of her subconscious into the clear light of conscious awareness. It was as if each inhalation drew wisdom from mysterious depths, and each exhalation delivered it softly into her understanding. The ancient wisdom traditions have long recognized breath as more than a biological function. It is a living communication system, a rhythm that speaks the language of transformation. When you breathe with intention, you are not merely moving air. You are conducting energy, signaling to your inner world that you are ready to receive. Vernon, a graphic designer haunted by creative blocks, stumbled upon this truth through persistent practice. Each night before sleeping, he would slow his breathing, creating a deliberate rhythmic pattern. His exhalations became longer, more measured, like a metronome setting a pace for inner exploration. Gradually, his dreams transformed from fragmented scenes to vivid landscapes of creative solution. One morning, Vernon awoke with a complete design concept that had eluded him for months. The intricate details were so precise, so perfectly formed, that he knew this was no ordinary dream. His breath had become a conduit, a sacred messenger carrying inspiration from the depths of his subconscious. This is not magic, but a natural human capability, a birthright often forgotten in the noise of modern existence. Your breath is a living technology, a bridge between the seen and unseen, the known and the yet to be discovered. The interpretation is clear. Breath is your personal gateway to infinite intelligence. It is the subtle technique through which you can consciously communicate with the deeper aspects of your awareness. By bringing awareness to your breath, you create a deliberate opening, a portal through which insights, creativity, and profound understanding can flow. Practice is the key. Not complex rituals, but simple, intentional breathing. Slow, rhythmic, conscious. Each breath becomes an invitation to your inner wisdom, a gentle knock on the door of your subconscious mind. As the chapter draws to a close, the invitation remains. Rest tonight, feeling your breath weave light between mind and dream. Chapter 37. The Language of Symbols. Your breath carries more wisdom than you realize. Just as Charlotte discovered the delicate bridge between worlds in the previous chapter, you now stand at the threshold of understanding how the universe communicates through silent language, a language beyond words, spoken in symbols and synchronicities. Agnes first noticed these whispers when repeating numbers began dancing around her. 1111 on digital clocks, license plates with matching sequences, addresses that seemed to echo with mysterious precision. Initially dismissing them as coincidence, she soon recognized these were not random occurrences, but deliberate messages from her subconscious, gently guiding her attention. The teaching reveals that symbols bypass the logical mind's barriers. Where words can be analyzed, doubted, and dissected, images and numerical patterns slip directly into your awareness, speaking a universal tongue that transcends intellectual resistance. Your subconscious knows you will notice these signs when you are truly ready to receive them. Barney's journey illuminated this truth beautifully. A small white feather appearing unexpectedly before a crucial business meeting, repeated number sequences preceding significant life changes. These were not mere accidents. They were breadcrumbs of divine guidance, precision-crafted messages mapping his path forward. When you begin to see these synchronicities not as strange coincidences but as intentional communications, you open a direct channel with your deeper wisdom. Each repeated number, each unexpected symbol becomes a conversation, a gentle nudge from the universe pointing you toward your most aligned path. Your subconscious communicates through imagery because images transcend language. A feather might represent freedom. A specific number sequence could signal readiness. A recurring color might indicate emotional alignment. These are not random occurrences, but carefully orchestrated signals designed specifically for you. The key is not to chase or force these signs, but to remain open and curious. Notice them with a calm, receptive heart. Allow them to emerge naturally, trusting that when you are truly prepared to listen, the universe will speak volumes through the most subtle of whispers. Practice. At bedtime, thank the universe for tomorrow's signs and promise to notice them calmly. Chapter 38. Timeless Creation. You stand at the threshold of time's most profound secret, a realm where imagination dissolves linear constraints and transforms possibility into immediate reality. Your subconscious does not understand past, present, or future. as separate experiences, but as simultaneous vibrations waiting to be activated. Ida's journey illuminates this mystical truth. She once believed opportunities were fleeting, discrete moments slipping through her fingers like sand. But as she learned to perceive time differently, she discovered something revolutionary. Emotional conviction can fold moments together, creating bridges where logic sees only gaps. Consider Howard's remarkable transformation. When long-fractured relationships seemed irreparable, he began visualizing reconciliation not as a distant hope, but as an existing reality. He immersed himself in the feeling of harmony, speaking and thinking as though the healing had already occurred. Remarkably, conversations that once seemed impossible began spontaneously manifesting. Estranged family members reached out, old friends reconnected, and wounds that appeared permanent started dissolving. This is not coincidence, but the subconscious mind's extraordinary capability to transcend chronological limitations. Your inner landscape does not operate on sequential time, but on vibrational alignment. When you fully embody the emotional frequency of your desired outcome, you signal to the universe that this experience is already true. The key resides in your ability to feel the completion of your wish as a present moment reality, not as a future possibility, but as an existing truth. Your subconscious cannot distinguish between what is imagined with complete emotional conviction and what is physically manifest. Imagine your consciousness as a vast, timeless ocean. Linear time is merely the surface ripple, while beneath lies an infinite, interconnected realm where all potential experiences coexist. Your focused imagination is the vessel that navigates these depths, bringing chosen realities to the surface. Howard's story teaches that belief outpaces chronology. When you genuinely feel the joy, peace, or resolution you seek, not as a distant dream but as your current state of being, you activate unseen mechanisms of transformation. The external world begins to rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. This is not magical thinking, but a profound understanding of consciousness. Your thoughts are not passive observations, but active creators, constantly sculpting reality's landscape. By living from the completed desire, you collapse the distance between imagination and manifestation. As nightfall approaches, you have a powerful opportunity to practice this principle of timeless creation. Before rest, picture your happiest outcome existing already and fall asleep inside it. Chapter 39. The Frequency of Play. You stand at the threshold of a profound realization. Creation is not a serious labor, but a playful dance with the universe. Faye's journey illuminates this truth, a truth that lives in the heart of every dreamer who has ever allowed joy to guide their path. Faye had spent years wrestling with her ambitions, treating each goal like a battle to be won. Her approach was rigid, methodical, filled with self-imposed deadlines and relentless pressure. But something shifted when she began to see life as a grand, spontaneous game. At first, the transformation was subtle. She started adding moments of pure, childlike enjoyment to her work. Instead of grinding through projects with grim determination, she introduced elements of curiosity and wonder. Her spreadsheets became canvases of exploration. Her meetings turned into collaborative adventures. Wilbur's story mirrors this magical transition. A talented artist trapped in the mechanics of commercial design, He had forgotten the pure delight that first drew him to creativity. One day, he decided to approach his work as an invitation to play, to experiment, to laugh, to see each project as an unfolding surprise rather than a destination to be reached. The subconscious, you see, responds to emotional frequency. When you approach life with the lightness of a child, curious, open, unattached to outcomes, you unlock a powerful manifestation mechanism. Seriousness creates resistance. Play creates flow. Your inner mind doesn't understand complicated strategies, but it comprehends the pure language of joy instantaneously. Wilbur's clients began noticing something different. His designs carried an ineffable spark, a sense of spontaneity that felt both fresh and deeply authentic. Opportunities started appearing, not through aggressive networking, but through the magnetic pull of his renewed creative spirit. This is not about forcing happiness, but about genuinely embracing the playful essence of creation. Your subconscious is like a brilliant, eager child waiting to be guided by your emotional state. When you infuse your intentions with joy, with a sense of adventure, you activate an accelerated learning and manifestation process. The universe responds to your internal rhythm. Discipline has its place, but play is the secret ingredient that transforms work from a burden into a celebration. Each moment becomes an invitation, each challenge an opportunity to dance with possibility. As you close your eyes, smile at life's game and expect tomorrow's delightful moves. Chapter 40. The Ever-Waking Light. In the soft luminescence of your inner landscape, you discover that awakening is not a destination but a continuous dance of remembrance. Each night, as consciousness gently unfurls, you understand that transformation is not a single moment of revelation, but a delicate, ongoing practice of returning to your truest self. Opal's journey illuminates this profound truth. For years she chased enlightenment like a distant horizon, believing it to be a fixed point to be conquered. But gradually she realized that consciousness expands through gentle, consistent communion with your deeper wisdom. It is not about achieving a final state of perfection, but about nurturing an ever-evolving relationship with your inner light. Nelson's story mirrors this understanding. After decades of nightly gratitude practices, he discovered that spiritual growth is less about grand epiphanies and more about humble, daily recommitment. Each evening, as he whispered thanks to the universe, he recognized that enlightenment is not a trophy to be won, but a living, breathing connection to be tended. The universe speaks in rhythms, not in absolutes. Your transformation is not measured by momentary breakthroughs, but by the consistent, gentle way you return to peace. Like a river that constantly flows and reshapes its path, your consciousness is in perpetual motion, learning, adjusting, expanding. Your nightly practices are not mere rituals, but sacred conversations with the infinite intelligence that orchestrates your existence. Every moment of stillness, every breath of gratitude, every whispered intention rewrites the script of your becoming. You are not static. You are a dynamic, luminous being constantly recalibrating to higher frequencies of understanding. The interpretation of this journey is clear. Enlightenment is maintenance. It is the art of continuously polishing the lens through which you perceive reality. Each night offers a fresh opportunity to realign, to listen, to surrender to the wisdom that pulses beneath your conscious awareness. As you prepare to rest, remember that while your physical body seeks restoration, your inner light remains vibrantly awake. Your consciousness does not sleep. It learns, it grows, it integrates. The boundaries between dreaming and waking blur, revealing a continuous stream of awareness. Practice. Fall asleep, thankful that while your body rests, your light keeps learning forever. Part 5. The Eternal Dawn Within. Chapter 41. The Secret Smile of the Universe. The universe responds to your inner landscape with a precision that transcends human understanding. Your smile is not merely a facial expression, but a vibrational signal that reverberates through the invisible networks connecting all of existence. When Minnie first discovered this truth, she was skeptical. How could something as simple as a smile reshape her external reality? Yet, as she began practicing intentional joy in crowded spaces, subway cars, waiting rooms, busy streets, she noticed subtle shifts. Strangers seemed more accommodating. Opportunities appeared where tension once resided. Her smile became a silent conductor of cosmic energy. Chester's journey mirrored this revelation. A once frustrated salesman, he started each morning by smiling deliberately before even opening his eyes. Not a forced grin, but a genuine expression of inner peace and anticipation. Within weeks, his sales transformed. Clients were drawn to him. Connections materialized effortlessly. His smile wasn't just an expression, it was an invitation to the universe. The subconscious mind understands this language of joy instantly. When you smile with authentic warmth, you're broadcasting a frequency of abundance, of welcome, of possibility. It's a non-verbal affirmation that tells the universe you are ready, you are open, you are receiving. This is not about manipulating reality, but about aligning with its fundamental rhythm. Your smile is a bridge between inner state and outer experience. It communicates to every cell, every quantum particle, that you are in harmony with life's unfolding. Imagine your smile as a tuning fork, calibrating the energetic field around you. Each genuine smile sends ripples through consciousness, rearranging circumstances to match your inner vibration. It's a form of silent communication more powerful than words, more precise than thought. The practice is simple, yet profound. As you prepare for sleep, allow a gentle smile to emerge, not from your mind, but from the depths of your being. Let it spread softly across your face, through your body, radiating a quiet signal of gratitude and openness. This smile is your whispered conversation with the cosmos, a luminous invitation for grace to flow into your life. Chapter 42. The Home Inside, Every Moment. You have wandered through landscapes of longing, seeking a sanctuary that always seemed just beyond your reach. Your heart has carried the weight of searching for stability, for comfort, for that elusive sense of belonging that whispers promises of safety. But what if home was never a place you could find, but a state you could create within yourself? Lucy's journey mirrors your own intimate exploration of inner terrain. She discovered that her most profound sense of security emerged not from external circumstances, but from the quiet moments when her imagination danced with possibility. Her daydreams were not mere escapes, but portals to a deeper understanding. True belonging resides in the landscape of your inner alignment. Imagine home not as walls and foundations, but as the rhythmic landscape of your breath. Each inhalation carries the potential for rootedness. Each exhalation, a release of the need to constantly seek elsewhere. Your breath is your first and most constant companion, a reminder that you are already complete, already connected. Edgar's story illuminates this truth with remarkable clarity. Whenever he fully embraced his present surroundings, truly seeing the light filtering through windows, feeling the texture of a chair, hearing the subtle sounds around him, his external world seemed to stabilize as if by unseen magic. But this was no magic, merely the profound result of complete presence. Your sense of safety is not determined by geographical locations or external securities, but by your ability to be fully present. When you anchor yourself in the current moment, you transmute uncertainty into a form of spiritual confidence. Each breath becomes an affirmation. I am here, I am whole, I belong. The universe responds to your inner frequency. Your vibration of gratitude, of being at home within yourself, sends ripples through the invisible fabric of existence. Circumstances begin to align, not because you've manipulated them, but because you've transformed your internal landscape. This is not about forcing contentment, but about genuine acceptance. When you whisper to yourself, I am already home wherever I breathe, you're not just uttering words. You're invoking a profound spiritual principle, that your essence is not confined, that you carry your center with you always. Your practice tonight is simple, yet transformative. As you prepare for rest, place your hand on your heart. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. Whisper softly, I am already home wherever I breathe. Let this become your lullaby, your prayer, your declaration of inner peace. Actionable practice. As you rest, whisper, I am already home wherever I breathe. Chapter 43. The Golden Thread of Intention. You stand at the crossroads of scattered possibility, where 1,000 paths shimmer like broken glass, each reflecting a fragment of potential. Your energy, once dispersed like wind through open windows, now learns to gather, to concentrate, to become a laser of pure intention. The universe responds not to your desperate reaching, but to your calm, clear signal. Like a radio tuning to a precise frequency, your consciousness has the remarkable ability to transmit exact vibrations that reshape reality. Each thought is not just a whisper, but a command, when delivered with unwavering clarity. Ruth's journey mirrors your own. She had been a master of distraction, her mind a kaleidoscope of half-formed wishes and scattered dreams. Projects begun and abandoned, goals glimpsed but never fully embraced. Her life felt like a collection of unfinished symphonies, each melody trailing off before reaching its crescendo. But something shifted when she learned the art of singular focus, one intention, one clear golden thread of desire held steady and true through the night's fabric of consciousness. Stanley's story emerged as a testament to this principle. A man once riddled with chronic ailments, he discovered that healing was not about fighting disease, but about broadcasting wellness. Each morning, he would sit in quiet meditation, not visualizing himself as healthy, but feeling, truly feeling, the vibration of perfect health. His body, previously a battlefield of competing signals, began to align. Cells that once fought now collaborated. Systems that seemed broken recalibrated, not through struggle, but through the precise frequency of intention. This is the secret most miss. Precision trumps effort. A laser cuts more effectively than 1,000 hammers. Your consciousness operates on similar principles. One clear thought, held with emotional conviction, moves mountains more swiftly than a lifetime of frantic pushing. The interpretation is clear. Simplicity is manifestation's truest art. Not complexity, not exhaustive planning, but a single, pure intention, allowed to resonate without interference. As night approaches, you have a profound opportunity. This is your moment to thread your desire through the loom of consciousness, weaving your intention into the very fabric of possibility. Practice. Before sleep, name one desire and feel its golden thread running through your night. Chapter 44. The Echo of Kindness. In the vast tapestry of universal connection, you are a thread of infinite potential, weaving your consciousness through every interaction. Your kindness is not merely an action, but a vibration that resonates far beyond the moment of its creation. When Iris discovered this truth, she transformed her understanding of generosity from a simple act to a cosmic language. Iris began offering compliments like delicate seeds scattered without expectation of harvest. To her, each kind word was a pure expression of recognition, unattached to any anticipated return. She would notice the subtle beauty in a cashier's patient smile, the quiet dedication in a colleague's work, the unexpected courage in a stranger's gesture. Her words became gentle blessings, pure and unburdened by calculation. What Iris did not immediately understand was how the universe listens and responds to such unguarded compassion. Her compliments were not transactional exchanges, but pure transmissions of appreciation. Each genuine acknowledgement sent ripples through the invisible networks of human connection, creating harmonic waves that returned to her in unexpected forms. Morris had walked a different path before his transformation. Years of cynicism had painted his world in muted, suspicious tones. He had viewed kindness as a weakness, generosity as a potential vulnerability. But something within him began to shift when he started offering silent blessings to those around him. These were not loud proclamations or performative acts of goodwill. Instead, Morris would quietly wish well for people. The overworked barista, the stressed taxi driver, the elderly neighbor struggling with groceries. He would mentally whisper hopes of ease, of comfort, of unexpected joy, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, the landscape of his relationships began to change. The teaching reveals a profound truth. Kindness operates on frequencies beyond ordinary perception. When you offer genuine appreciation without expectation, you transmit a signal of abundance. Your subconscious does not distinguish between giving and receiving. It experiences both as expansion. Each blessing you send becomes a mirror, reflecting back amplified grace. Morris watched in quiet wonder as old animosities dissolved. Colleagues who had once been distant became collaborative. Neighbors who had been merely polite began offering spontaneous help. The silent blessings he had been sending created invisible bridges of connection, transforming the very energetic environment around him. This is the tender mathematics of reciprocity, not a calculated exchange, but a natural flow of energy. Your subconscious identifies with every gift you give, recording not the transaction, but the essence of generosity. When you bless others, you are simultaneously blessing yourself, expanding the very definition of self beyond individual boundaries. The universe responds to authenticity. Your purest intentions, free from manipulation or desire for specific outcomes, carry the most potent transformative power. Kindness is not a strategy, but a state of being, a recognition of the profound interconnectedness of all life. Practice. Drift into sleep, remembering one gentle act today, and bless its echo multiplying. Chapter 45. The Bridge of Trust. In the landscape of your inner world, trust is the silent architect that transforms wishful thinking into tangible reality. You have wandered through landscapes of hope and uncertainty, alternating between believing and doubting, unaware that each moment of hesitation creates invisible barriers around your deepest desires. Beatrice's journey illuminates this universal truth. She had spent years constructing elaborate mental scenarios, her mind a labyrinth of potential outcomes, some radiant with possibility, others shadowed by fear. Each time she approached a dream, doubt would whisper its ancient refrain. What if you fail? What if this isn't meant for you? But trust is not a passive waiting. It is an active state of inner knowing, a profound conviction that transcends logical reasoning. Trust is the emotional bridge that transforms invisible potential into manifest reality. It is the quiet certainty that exists before external proof, the unwavering belief that your heart's true desires are already in motion. Howard embodied this principle effortlessly. Where others saw obstacles, he perceived pathways. His creative impulses were not random sparks, but guided messages from a deeper intelligence. When an opportunity appeared that seemed improbable, a collaborative project that defied conventional logic, he did not analyze or strategize. Instead, he simply trusted. His relaxed conviction was revolutionary. Unlike the frantic pursuit many associate with success, Howard moved with a serene alignment. His trust was not blind hope, but a sophisticated understanding that the universe responds to emotional frequency more than desperate action. Each calm breath, each moment of inner peace, was an invitation for synchronicity. The interpretation of trust goes beyond mere positive thinking. It is an energetic architecture that programs your subconscious with certainty. While repetition can train the mind, trust rewrites the fundamental vibration from which your experiences emerge. It is the difference between reciting an affirmation and truly feeling its truth. Your subconscious does not differentiate between what is and what could be. It reads your emotional landscape, interpreting trust as present-tense reality. When you truly trust, you signal to your deeper self that your desire is not a future possibility, but a current state of being. This is not about eliminating doubt. Doubt, too, carries information. It is about developing a relationship with uncertainty where trust is the dominant frequency. Each time you choose trust over worry, you are rebuilding your internal blueprint, reshaping the very foundation of your experiences. As night approaches and your conscious mind prepares to rest, you have a profound opportunity. The threshold between waking and sleeping is a sacred portal where your deepest beliefs are most malleable. Practice. As you rest tonight, breathe out every what if, and breathe in pure, yes, it is done. Chapter 46. The Garden at the Edge of Sleep. As twilight descends and the world softens into quiet whispers, you stand at the most magical threshold of consciousness, the gateway between waking and dreaming. Here, in this liminal space, your subconscious becomes most receptive, like fertile ground awaiting sacred seeds of intention. Trust is not merely a concept, but a living bridge connecting your deepest desires with their inevitable manifestation. Each night, you possess a remarkable power, the ability to communicate directly with the invisible architects of your reality. The moments just before sleep are not passive, but profoundly generative. Nettie understood this mystery intuitively. She discovered that the transition between wakefulness and slumber was not an ending, but a beginning, a delicate interval where the barriers between what is and what could be grow thin and permeable. In these moments, your inner landscape becomes supremely malleable, capable of reshaping your entire existence with gentle, intentional whispers. Virgil's journey revealed another dimension of this twilight consciousness. He learned to speak to his subconscious with the tenderness of a devoted gardener, planting affirmations like delicate seeds at the precise moment when the mind's defenses were lowest. His gentle words, spoken with unwavering sincerity, took root effortlessly, sprouting opportunities and transformations that seemed to bloom overnight. This is the alchemy of trust, not a forceful demand, but a soft, persistent invitation. Your subconscious listens most attentively when your conscious mind releases its grip, when your breath becomes rhythmic and your body surrenders to rest. In this state, every suggestion carries the weight of potential, every thought a brush stroke on the canvas of becoming. The universe responds to your internal state with exquisite precision. Your beliefs, especially those in the quiet moments before sleep, become the blueprint for tomorrow's experiences. Trust is not about controlling outcomes, but about creating a welcoming environment for miracles to emerge. As you prepare to cross the threshold into sleep, remember that you are stepping into a realm of infinite possibility. Your consciousness is not diminishing, but expanding. You are not losing awareness, but entering a more profound state of knowing. At bedtime, imagine stepping through a glowing garden gate where every thought blossoms kindly. Chapter 47. The Return to Wonder. You stand at the threshold of transformation, where the ordinary dissolves and the extraordinary begins to breathe. Esther's journey illuminates a profound truth. Analysis paralyzes, but wonder liberates. For years, she had dissected life's moments with surgical precision, believing understanding meant control. Yet something vital was slipping through the cracks of her meticulous observations. It began on an unremarkable evening when she stepped outside, her mind still churning with endless calculations and predictions. The sky above was not just a canvas of darkness, but a living tapestry of infinite possibility. Stars flickered with a language older than thought, older than fear. In that moment, Esther's analytical mind crumbled, replaced by a childlike amazement that swept through her like a gentle wind. Harvey's story echoes this awakening. Once trapped in a labyrinth of constant worry, he discovered that sincere amazement could reshape reality's very fabric. Where he once saw obstacles, he now witnessed opportunities. Where anxiety had drawn tight lines of limitation, wonder painted expansive horizons of potential. The subconscious, you see, does not speak the language of logic. It resonates with emotion, with pure, unfiltered experience. When you approach life with genuine curiosity, you send a powerful signal to your inner self. I am open. I am ready. I trust the mystery. Imagine wonder as a key that unlocks hidden chambers within your mind. Each moment of genuine awe is like a gentle knock on the door of possibility. The universe listens. The universe responds, not through rigid planning, but through the fluid dance of curiosity and openness. Your analytical mind will resist. It will demand proof, structure, guaranteed outcomes. But miracles do not arrive with warranties. They emerge in the spaces between certainty and mystery, in the moments when you surrender your need to control and instead choose to marvel. Curiosity is the currency of miracles. It transforms the mundane into the magical, the predictable into the extraordinary. When you approach life with a sense of wonder, you become an invitation for synchronicity. You become a living, breathing portal through which unexpected beauty can enter. This is not about abandoning wisdom or discernment. This is about expanding your perception, about recognizing that life is infinitely more intricate, more beautiful, and more responsive than your smallest thoughts can comprehend. Practice. As eyes close, picture stars within you expanding, whispering endless possibilities. Chapter 48. The Light You Leave Behind. The moment you realize your inner transformation radiates beyond your personal sphere, a profound understanding awakens within you. Your consciousness is not a solitary island, but a luminous beacon that touches countless unseen shores. Every thought you nurture, every emotion you refine, sends invisible waves through the intricate web of human connection. Marlene understood this truth deeply. She had spent years cultivating her inner landscape, watching how her intentional thoughts and peaceful emotions began to subtly shift the energy around her. It was not about grand gestures or loud proclamations, but about the quiet, persistent work of aligning her inner world with love, compassion, and understanding. At first, the changes were barely perceptible. A colleague might suddenly feel more calm in her presence. A stranger on the street would unexpectedly smile. The ambient tension in a room would soften when she entered, as if her very being exhaled a soothing breath. Gilbert's experience mirrored this mysterious phenomenon. In his corporate workplace, known for its high-stress environment, he discovered that his inner tranquility was a powerful transformer. When anxiety swirled around conference tables and deadlines loomed like dark clouds, Gilbert's serene presence acted as an invisible balm. Colleagues who were moments away from emotional eruption would suddenly find themselves taking deep breaths, their shoulders relaxing, their perspective shifting. He hadn't spoken a word of advice. He hadn't offered strategies or interventions. Simply by being fully present in his own peaceful state, he radiated a frequency that invited others to remember their own capacity for calm. The teaching crystallizes a profound universal truth. Personal transformation is never truly personal. Each time you heal a wound within yourself, each moment you choose love over fear, each breath you take in conscious alignment, you are contributing to a collective elevation of consciousness. Your inner work becomes a lighthouse. Your healed trauma becomes a map for others. Your cultivated peace becomes a permission slip for those around you to also choose harmony. This is not about perfection, but about persistent, compassionate growth. Every small shift in your vibration creates ripples that extend far beyond what your physical senses can perceive. You are simultaneously the drop and the ocean, the individual and the collective. As you drift to sleep, imagine your peaceful light traveling outward, blessing every soul it touches. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. You have journeyed through the landscape of consciousness, transforming your inner terrain with each whispered intention. The night has been your teacher, your subconscious, the willing student. Every chapter has been a soft invitation to remember your innate power, the ability to reshape reality through gentle, consistent awareness. Your transformation is not about grand, dramatic shifts, but about the subtle realignments that occur when you trust the rhythm of your deeper self. The universe responds not to force, but to the quiet confidence of your aligned heart. Each breath you take becomes a bridge between what is and what can be. The wisdom you've absorbed is not external knowledge, but a remembering of what you've always known. Your subconscious mind is a vast, luminous field waiting to be cultivated with loving attention. By listening during the sacred hours of sleep, you have learned to communicate with the deepest parts of yourself. Your thoughts are no longer random echoes, but intentional frequencies that shape your experience. You understand now that manifestation is not a destination, but a continuous dance of awareness and allowance. Every moment is an opportunity to realign, to breathe new possibility into being. The light you carry is not something to be acquired, but something to be remembered. It flows through you, touching everything you encounter, transforming not just your personal reality, but rippling out to touch the collective consciousness.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.